right here.
It was like 3 months ago. We talked about copywriting, and he emailed me his. He had offered to email people the swipe book. So I asked him, and he sent it to me.
Michael.
I can't remember his name, and I don't.
He went to Murgatroyd's event.
You did a copywriting thing?
Yeah, he was.
Why can I not remember that?
You were here.
I know I must have been,
Yeah.
but I don't remember.
It was a really good one
Did you
too.
go to Skype?
It was.
Yeah.
It was one of the ones where I learned the most of these meetings.
Oh yeah, yeah, it was
Yeah.
brilliant.
Yeah.
How he broke it down.
And so then I tried writing
Thank you.
AdWords ads that used his copywriting method, but it totally isn't possible because of the.
Oh yes, I do.
Of course, that
remember.
was before they extended how many characters you get.
Yes.
But with the limited number of characters, I haven't actually tried doing it since they extended it. But with the limited number of characters available back then, there was just no way to get close to any of the.
But to put anything that actually could make anybody have some feeling.
Well, to something that used that particular approach. I mean, you can even with extremely limited space, you can evoke feeling. I mean, poets can do great stuff. But
That's a good point.
yeah.
Yeah.
So Steve, what's the significance of the fish hook on your hand?
It's funny you should ask. I don't know why it's funny, but it's a good question. No, a buddy of mine would wear a fish hook on his back. And I was in the military. And I would hassle him day and night. Like, that fish hook is so stupid, you didn't take it off your hat. You got to take it off your hat. And this went on for about 3 years. Like, that fish hook is so stupid, man. Why you got that on your hat? I leave the military. As I'm leaving, he's like, "Hey, Dub." He used to call me Dub. "Hey, Dub, here you go." And he handed it to me. So it's just kind of like, it's just like, it's a fun story. Kind of sentimental.
So have any contact with him?
Not much. He kind of dropped off Facebook, and then I see him on TV every once in a while. He was on like Top Shot, so I guess he was doing like sharpshooting, stuff like that. Which is pretty
Was he a
neat.
sniper?
Yeah, I guess he went to school for it.
Wow.
I don't know if he was a sniper, but I know he was a marksman. And
What did you do in the Marines?
I was in the Army, so I did reconnaissance, so sneaky squirrel stuff, or the infantry's handmaiden, I guess would be a nice way to say it. Here, share screen. Oh, eating. That'll be fun. I think
John's got it. Is it good?
I gotta tell you. This is much better than the last one because I'm eating it now.
As opposed to.
When I already ate it, I don't remember.
I knew there was something like that.
This is delicious. Enjoy the bite.
Oh, no, you can do it. I'm just saying, you definitely get some golden. Sorry.
It was cold and bottom fresh.
I know, right?
It was pretty chilly.
Freezing. The air is on. I don't think they've adjusted to this new weather yet.
No?
Steve,
Yes, sir.
a real man can handle a cold.
Oh.
Oh, well, I've got soft. I changed diapers now. What do you want?
Yes, there you go.
What do you want from me?
There you
Yeah.
go. How old is your baby now? How old is she?
3 months.
3 months.
Yeah.
I wouldn't make it through. I said I should have been a plumber. My hands are all day anyway.
Yeah, good.
All good. Thank you.
Quite the, so again, who is Tippy?
Tiffany is, she's an actress, she's in Martin, African Child, and the Birds.
Oh, I remember Birds. That freaked me out when I was little.
Yeah, that's her. She
Really?
is 80, I'll tell you, she's, I think she's 87.
Is that the one that I'm sorry? Oh,
Chihuahua.
right,
Yeah,
okay.
Yeah, she,
How old is
I think she's 80, well, let me see it. I think she's,
I like that.
4/1930. And she,
One,
E6?
then you're here to do things.
she's so incredible. Such a sweetheart.
It's
It's only 7 o'clock. I'm running on internet marketer time here.
Hey, I'm usually late, I guess, right?
The World Series is on right
Oh, yeah, the World Series. Yeah, that's right. Game
Went up.
6.
That was interesting.
They won it. Thought they were going to croak.
I know, boy.
Can't move for the Dodgers, so give the Cubs some love. 100 and, yeah. Goodness.
It was so bad.
Mhm.
I just told Teresa the last
There
Dodgers game where I was at.
Yeah, she's pretty.
Yeah, she's so sweet. And Shambhala is such an amazing place. She has all these wild animals.
Yeah.
And they have each one have like a piece.
Wow.
And we go up there, Jerry does interviews with her.
Mhm.
They have sunset dinner in the summer. And they have people in there, they do all the interview with him and he answers questions. And he's invited there a lot.
That's cool.
And it's so neat because at night they're really
Really?
they're so beautiful.
Oh,
Anyway, it's fun.
Yeah,
Cool room.
football, yeah.
This is Steve. Hey, Chris, can you say something?
Good evening. How's it going?
Could you log on to? Actually, no. I'll stick with this. This will probably work better.
Hey,
Hey, how you guys doing?
Giraffes.
Okay, so we'll get started. And is anybody new? Is this your first time?
Yeah.
It's first time? So just, I think you've been here before. So just to let you know, it's very casual. If you have any questions along the way throughout the night, raise your hand and ask. Our goal here is to make sure that anybody who comes leaves with as much of their questions answered as possible. So, don't be shy if you have anything that comes up. Are you in internet marketing?
Yes.
Is there anything specifically that you want to get out of the group?
No, I used to work with, I guess, Jesus and health companies, and I want to start my own, so I came over just to see what this is about. And see
Oh, cool. Wait, so you start two different, what kind of companies?
They're like home care companies.
Okay. Oh. Well, I'm Chris, so welcome to the group. We meet every first Tuesday of the month. I've been told that it's possible they might need this room next month on Tuesday. So we may not be able to meet. She's going to find out. I guess some high schools might have some event here in the room.
we can take them on.
We'll market them to death.
Market to them.
It's Christmas time, right? What? You don't want this book? Come on, get this. So, I will let you know, if you're not part of the Meetup email, please sign up for, it's on meetup.com. That's where sign up for the Meetup information and you'll be able to get it. Hey, Paulo, how's it going? So, I guess. Steve, do you have that email I sent about that advertising book?
The advertising book?
Yeah, the one that came with those PDFs. Yeah.
I don't think so, not off the top of my head.
So, I guess, does anybody have anything they want to share? I'm going to go ahead and just,
What group is this?
this is the Internet Marketers Group.
Oh, great.
Yeah. So I was just saying, this is a very casual group. If you have any questions along the way, just raise your hand, let us know. There's a lot of brilliant minds in here that do marketing, so and different types of internet marketing that we can help you with. And I'm Chris. Next month, we normally meet first Tuesday of the month, but next month we might have to skip. We might have to use the room. So if you're on meetup.com, sign up for the email, and I'll push out whether or not we're going to be meeting. How many of you actually went to or heard Marissa Murgatroyd speak before? She was here last year. So she's actually going to be doing one more of her events that, when was it, like 6 months ago, a year?
6, 7 years.
Yeah. So she's going to have one more of her events coming up. And she asked if she could speak to the group again and talk about it. I did tell her, though, that about 2/3 of us are repeat and that always come. There's always about a 1/3 that's new that comes through. So if she has any new content for us that could actually be beneficial. And the more I thought about it, Marissa had one of the most brilliant marketing funnels that I've seen in a long time. And to be part of it in the funnel, I thought was actually really good. So the more I thought about it, I actually might ask her to come back anyway, if she's willing to do more of a Q&A on how she put together her funnels, what gave her the ideas, her path to business. For those of you who aren't here, Marissa did a short presentation, maybe about an hour, on how to find what's in your passion and how to put that online. And then from that, she invited everybody to do a 3-day kind of like boot camp on it. That was down by the airport, by LAX. And it was $99, I think, for us to go, right? So $99 got us down there. There was probably about 8 of us. 8 to 10? Yeah, 8 to 10 of us went down. And it was a 3-day thing that really expanded on how to take your message to money live. That's what it's called. So it's take your message to make it into something money. And at the second day, it turned into a $15,000 or $10,000 pitch for her coaching on that way, which is not a bad thing. I mean, kind of we were all expecting that would kind of happen, but $99 for 3 days to get a full message was really good. But if you want one-on-one coaching now from her, who's an expert that's doing 7 figures a year on this type of business, man, there was a lot of people who signed up.
Yeah, it was really interesting because she's telling you how to do all this.
Yeah.
And she's doing it to you at the same time.
Yes.
I mean, it was fascinating.
It was. So as a marketing from a standpoint, and she's doing $1 million a year in her business, not only with that kind of consulting, but there's others, more to it than that as well. But her expertise was really good. I'd like to pick her brain on that. So
Is it going to be the same topic or?
It's going to be about how she did it. I'm gonna actually ask it as a more than.
No, I mean her new
I think it is. I think it's going to be the same message to money live type thing. So unless somebody has a better topic that they might be interested in, let me know within the next 2 weeks. And if not, then I'm going to actually invite her back and ask her if she'd be willing to do that talk on it, because that is one of the high-end ways that actually internet marketers end up being. So when they actually have their expertise gets so good. And there was another woman who got picked. And we were to stand up and give what our problems were, and the group, the audience would decide who to take. So the other girl actually gave her problem, and it was a problem big enough that I said, go ahead, help her. My problem's not that big. She needs more help. So she went up, and right after she went in the hot seat, got her help sat down, Steven got picked. And for those who don't know, he's our business partner. So he got up and he said, and basically, because basically I gave up my last even chance at it, they had both of us come up, and we were having a problem at the time. We were actually having a problem scaling. We were having so many people ask for our services, and we didn't have enough resources to take care of these people. We had a waiting list that was a year long. So the obvious answer was raise your prices. The problem is when you raise your prices for the product that we had, was that it loses its value. It would not benefit the client in the right way. So we had to keep on finding better ways to scale it. And the advice that she gave was very credible, based on her knowing on a 7-minute what's our problem, which is a lot bigger in scale than you can explain in 7 minutes. She gave actually a very correct answer for that problem for the 7 minutes that she heard from us. So in my eyes, her credibility is actually really, really strong. She not only tells us just raise our prices, but other ways to structure and do things. But she's really good at what she does. I mean, and that's why she commands the salary or the fees that she does for her services. So I'm thinking about actually having her come back because her next event's going to be in February. And like I said, I'd like to ask her about the funnel. What else does she do? What is her psychology of it? Where does she get her copywriting done? And then where does she get everything get built up from where she's at? So the whole part of that process is what I'm going to ask you. I'll give her actually all the questions in advance, so she'll be prepared. But that's one thing I would like to do with that, because like I said, that is the advanced level of really commanding high fees for internet marketing and doing what she does on that. And what she does is basically teach people how to get on the internet to make a message sent to them. So that's pretty cool.
She has her Meetup as well.
Oh, yes.
It's
at her house, right?
at her house.
Yes. So she has a big enough house to actually accommodate a meetup for people to go.
It's a condo.
Oh, it's not a house?
It's not a house. It's up about the 3rd, 4th floor down at the beach. It's a big place.
Oh, wow.
Yeah. So
By the beach? Oh, that's cool too. Yeah. So she does well. So I'd like to go over and actually talk about the contest that we just had. So those that are new, we actually have a contest. We try to do it once a year. We skipped last year, but this year we actually Steve wanted to do a contest. So this year's contest, what we decided to do was who can make the most internet income in 1 month throughout the month of October. So October 31st, whoever entered the contest just had to show proof that they actually made an income and how they did it. And it had to be something that was not pre-established before the contest. So if you already had a business going, you couldn't then just add on more services to your business. It had to be something brand new. Even if you were doing, and it could be anything that you could do to make some type of income on the internet, pretty much was wide open. The prize was 2 iPad minis. And the reason why 2 is because we were hoping that people would team up, because a lot of people have some skills that could be useful for others. And there were a lot of people that did team up. It's so funny because my wife started hers and I said, okay, I'll help you, so I'm on your team. And she didn't want me on the team. She wanted to win it all for herself. But she jumped in, and so she was part of the contest. I was part of the contest, but I never got anything up. I actually just ran out of time to get anything going. I was going to really launch something hard at the last week and just put together a product, get it up there, market it through AdWords, and see if I could really just catch up. Well, my brother-in-law also entered. He actually works for us, and we're encouraging him. I said, hey, all you got to do is sell stuff on you can't sell it on eBay, because if you have a pre-established account, your seller rating is an advantage. So it would be a disadvantage to somebody else who tried on this. But you can do Craigslist. Because Craigslist, there is no pre-established advantage to doing it prior to that, other than knowing how to do it. And he ended up selling a couple of stuff. I think he was at $120 or $130. And Stephen was actually right behind him on another project, and he's going to explain what project he did at $50 that would get him within 2 sales. He'd be beating him. And my wife, I promise you, she worked the hardest out of anybody. I promise you, she's so competitive, and she's too competitive because she was so mad when she was hearing this. By the 22nd day, she had 6 cents. Today she's at 7. But it's one of those things, because it's the internet. It's a real business, and the real effort will take time for it to build. And because she put the foundation of her business in place now, I told her all it takes is one person to find. What she did is she put 70 YouTube videos up. And a handful of them she made herself. The others, she actually did recordings. And she's into Korean boy bands called K-pop. And she just loves watching them, and she doesn't understand Korean at all. But, so it doesn't matter because they dance really well, and they're very talented, and their music's okay even though you don't understand what they're saying. But she goes to their concerts, and her and her friend go, and she's recording. They allow you to record in there. In fact, they almost encourage it to go on YouTube. It's brilliant marketing. Like the Japanese boy bands, which she speaks Japanese, so she understands, and that's why she got into the K-pop band. They will not let you even take a picture. If you post it, they will find you. I mean, they're really strict about that. They own all the rights to everything. The K-pop bands are blowing up because of the amount of media, social media they're putting out there. They put every video, every song right on YouTube as soon as it comes out. They actually go on almost every day and put something up about them talking live. They're very, very good about utilizing the internet to no end. So of course, all of the K-pop fans are all over YouTube. So she's putting up her videos of the concerts she's been taking. Then she takes these still pictures that she finds all over the internet, and she makes a slideshow. And it says, pick your favorite animal. So there's 6 animals that show up, cartoon, like a giraffe, elephant, and then it says, if you pick, and then after you see 6 animals that come up for 4 seconds each, then it says, if you pick the elephant, then your guy is this guy. If you pick the dog, then your guy is this guy. And you would see all these people comment, oh, I got so-and-so. I mean, it's absolutely ridiculous, but people watch this stuff. Now, what happened, she did it with the Japanese boy bands, and of course, with the restrictions of how strict they are with the music, they told her she had to take it off, so we put other music on it. But with the Korean bands, because there's no problem with it, she started doing that. Now, like I said, when people start to find it, and they'll start actually looking at her other videos and keep watching, so she has YouTube ads being put up on it. And all it takes is just a few to just take off, and she knows YouTube SEO. So she's optimizing the videos now, slowly, one by one. So I told her I would build a website, and that way I can actually have links going back and forth, and that way people can come to the website and even watch the videos and get the ad play on that. But I couldn't do my own work, so I didn't have time to do hers. So we're still going to work. But the thing she doesn't realize yet is that once it starts to take off, it will do. It's evergreen. It's going to be there forever, And that's the thing that, every time they have a concert, their ratings start to come up, their viewing starts to come up. And then she also did tips on, if you're going to the KCON in LA, make sure you get there early. So she's doing these tip videos on how to do it. And of course she optimized it. Tips for the KCON LA 2017, in advance. So she's putting these things up and how disorganized they were this year and tips for next year. So she's really doing a lot of work. And then, you buy talk about the brilliant marketing. They sell their CDs that come out. Who's going to buy CDs today? Well, what the Korean bands do is they make 6 CD covers, one of each of the band members. The CD inside is the same, but inside the cover, the booklet, the members are all different, and you don't know who you're going to get. So if these teen boppers with one guy, they got to buy all 6, and actually what they have to do is hope that they get the one that they want. And these are expensive. They're really expensive. So there's this whole clan of people that buy 100 of them, open them all up, separate them out, and then these fans will then buy, the ones that they know are getting. So there's this whole underground economy now that's going on with these boy bands. Brilliant marketing. I mean, there's so many different ways that they're actually utilizing this. So she's riding her bandwagon of actually liking this stuff, and she was able to. So at first she was really excited because once she made her 3 cents, Nobody else had made money yet. She thought she was had a good chance of winning, but she did because the last minute kind of things happened. So my brother-in-law, he jumped on the contest. He didn't know what to do. He's a musician, so he has a guitar musician. He buys these guitar parts and he buys them used and he uses them. He likes them, but he wants to upgrade, so he'll sell it back on Craigslist. So what he did is he posts some of his old musical parts on Craigslist and he sells it. The only problem he had is that sometimes when he posts it, you're selling it to another musician, and sometimes they have the upgrade he wants. So he ends up trading and spending more money. I'll trade you this for an extra $5 for the new upgrade. So he was worried that he would actually get more trades than he would actually purchase it. But he ended up selling about $130 to $300 worth of musical equipment, which put him in the lead quite far. And then he posted his car and sold it and got the cash before the deadline. So he legitimately sold a car and made $3,200 on this contest for it. So I asked him, did the contest have anything to do with it? He said absolutely. It motivated him to start listing the stuff on Craigslist, which he needed to do anyway. It was just piling up. So he was really pleased about and I'm really happy for him because it was just a fun way for him to get started and moving forward on it. Now he's excited and putting more stuff on Craigslist too. So that was really good. But I'd like Stephen to actually share what he did because, I mean, as an advanced marketer, this is brilliant on how he did his too. And,
Okay, so I can't take really any of the credit because I didn't do any of the sales. I just came up with the idea and pawned the idea off my family.
That's even more brilliant. Right.
Well, yeah, it was like, had the idea, how to put all the pieces together. But like Chris was saying, we didn't have any time this month. So I was like, okay, well, I'll get to you when I can, but you're pretty much on your own. So essentially, let me see if I can pull this up real quick.
So $150 like you made this commission?
$50 recurring though, which is nice.
Yeah, so every month it comes in.
Yeah. So essentially, and what's even more funny is we didn't even use this. So I was like, okay, well, I want to have a simple web hosting company, but how am I going to get people to join my hosting company versus like HostGator or all these other big companies? I was like, well, there has to be some sort of unique, ridiculous offer that we can sell people with. And so I told my mom and my brother are the two people I'm working with. I was like, hey, just go around and try to sell businesses that will build them a free website, completely free. We just charge the hosting $50 a month. And so I don't think they really went out. They were just making calls and stuff, so conversion is a lot smaller. But they got one. So that's $50 recurring every single month. And so when we first started out, I was setting it up, and as you can see, it's not even really completely done. Like there's supposed to be like an opt-in box right here. I still had to edit the text, but this is basically the template I gave my brother. I was like, okay, so we have a WordPress template called Divi by Elegant Themes, and it's pretty much what you see is what you get. It's from a recent update that they did. And so I was like, all right, dude, go ahead and build it. Because part of me doing this is to motivate them to get into it as well. And so I was like, okay, so go ahead and build out a website and just show me what you can do. Because he was going through all the videos, and this is pretty much what he came up with. He copied mine, like the original website. Oh, and since we had to start with something brand new, I had to start with a brand new website. So nothing was the same. That's why there's a .org. Let me see if I can show you the .com real quick.
Your brother built this?
He built this.
Really?
Yeah. I didn't do anything. I was like, hey, just copy it. It's all blurred right now. But it's essentially the same kind of format and everything. But he built this all out by himself without knowing a whole lot about WordPress or anything. He just had the reference to go back and forth on. And he put this together based off a lot of the content that I already had put up. But he put it together, and I was like, hey, dude, you can actually build some websites. That's not half bad. There's a lot of tweaks that need to happen, but once you get your first one, go ahead and build it out, and then I can help you, refine it and make it better. So the processes and systems weren't all in place. We just were kind of like trial by fire. Hey, go see if you can sell it. They sold one, so he's building it right now. He's working with the it's like a media company, like shooting videos and stuff for businesses. And so he's getting all the information to build that out, getting the content and all that stuff. And that was, I think, 2 weeks ago. And then, yeah, that's pretty much it. So I told him, I was like, hey, we need to get 1,000 of these. You need to speed up the pace here a little bit. But no, for what I gave them, they actually did pretty good. I was really surprised. But that's pretty much it in a nutshell. Unique selling proposition, free website, and then just collect the $50 a month.
This is their business side or the plumber?
Yeah. Well, so there's this side that I had to create just for the face of the business, which, to be honest, I didn't really even have to build because nobody ever went here. Same thing for the what was it, local one pager for this one. Yeah, this was, I was like, Brian, here's the general idea for a local optimized, website for conversions. You want to have the phone number there because you want them to call. It's pretty much what all local businesses, just call me. There would be a lead, like an opt-in form right here, just like contact us type form. And that's pretty much it. Whatever their big offer is, their ridiculous offer that they have, their specials would go there. And then the rest of this is mainly, more specials, service fees waived, so just basically promoting that same offer again. The rest of this is mainly for search engine optimization. So on top of a local lead gen type website, it would also be search engine optimized at the basic level. And so that was just kind of the pitch. And so it has pretty much everything a business really needs, but just without the layered content, multiple pages. So there is that more advanced side of SEO that you'll need that for, but for $50 a month without having to pay how much people pay for optimized to $750, $1,500 just for an optimized website. It's not the prettiest looking thing, but it'll convert. Chris will tell you that. We built a few of these. But yeah, that's pretty much it. This would be just the template that I told my brother, hey, if we get one, this is kind of what you want to model it after. And but yeah, the system is still not even put together 100%. We still need to build out, Q&A forms, and then also structure processes for how we're going to be setting up the website, how we're going to be communicating with the client, and all that stuff, which has actually already been built, but because of the contest, I had to just create a quick fix. That's pretty much it.
That's awesome. And that's $50 a month.
$50 a month. I was like, maybe we can kind of sneak it in as like the lifetime value of a client and multiply 50, but no, only 1 month. But yeah, that's pretty much it.
So I really want to do another contest next year. Definitely similar to this, because it's like in the past, the others was actually too much work to maintain the contest. This one, you just do what you want, what your results are at the end of the year. So for those who don't know about our contest, like the first year what we did was a blogging contest. Basically, you have to blog every day of the month, and you have to actually submit the link for the blog page by midnight every single day with the copy and paste of all content, because it had to be 350 words or more and had an image. So there was rules, and this was just for people to take action, make somebody do something. And I think 27 of us started, 12 of us ended by the time it was done. That one was actually a drawing, because I knew people would be, and we gave away an iPad. Oh, that was actually a Barnes & Noble's Nook, that one, that first one that we actually did. And then the second year, we actually had 2 iPads given away for a contest on YouTube. You have to make a YouTube video every day for so many months, for so many days within the month, and then whoever finished that one as well, we were able to go in and do drawings on it. What was the other contest? Anybody else remember? We've been doing this for a while.
The video did you say video?
2 video contests, right? Yeah, one was you could do even like a 6-second video. The other one was actually you had to do how-to videos. That's what the other one was. So this one was, like I said, so he actually, if he was here, I would be presenting him with a $540 check for winning the video. I mean, to winning today's contest. That was the prize. Either 2 iPad minis or $540 for a single laptop. Whatever. I mean, that's to get him started on a laptop. That was kind of I thought would be a prize that would be worthy of people going after. Ironically, there were only like 5 of us entered, most of it, and only 3 finished. They did anything. So next time, the thing that it did do though is because I was getting so desperate at the end that I wanted to get something put together. I have an idea now that I will be definitely I'm going to be launching a product before the end of the year. So that's one thing that I know I'm kind of excited about because I would never have thought about it because I wasn't forced to. So I'll have a product out probably by the end of the year. And I'm actually going hard into copywriting right now, figuring out. And as I'm learning these copywriting styles, we bought a course in copywriting for $1,000 about 6 to 8 months ago. And I don't know why, but 2 weeks ago or a week ago, I started going into it. And man, I should have gone into this thing a long time ago. Brilliant course. And it is, it's actually put on by, what's his name? Oh, Brian. When I remember it, I'll let you know. I can't remember his name though. But I'm almost gone through most of it at this point. So we'll be going through the copywriting. Ray Edwards. So I don't know if any of you listen to his podcast. Ray Edwards. So he runs a podcast called The Ray Edwards Show. And he is a master copywriter. He actually wrote copy for Tony Robbins. The guy who's wrote Chicken Soup for the Soul, those books, Canfield, those guys. He wrote their copy for them too. Michael Hyatt's copy. And like some of the biggest names, he actually seeks them out, and he charges $150,000 to write copy, and takes a percentage of sales. If you want to hire him, that's. Yeah. But he makes millions for you on your copy, and that's why people don't think much of it. So he put out a course, like I said, it was $1,000, and I'm going through it now, and it's absolutely fantastic. And I was very blessed to actually meet him. About 2 months ago, I went to a conference up in Reading, and he was there along with another guy I really liked. I can't remember his name either. Perry Marshall. He wrote the 80-20 Rules of Marketing. He was there as well, so I got a chance to meet him too. I got pictures with them, so that's pretty cool. But they're both great copywriters, so these guys actually are great. So with the copywriting now, I actually am writing my copies before I'm actually putting my course together. And then when I'm done with it, because I want to put bullet points that actually, and then I can build a course that actually match up the bullet points for all of the benefits I want it to have. Because I know the product will solve a certain problem, and that's what I wanted to do, so that's what I'm going to head into and really build it out. And it was funny because I've actually had all the content for talks that I've done in the past at seminars. And my wife was the one that said, why don't you just do it on that? You have all the content. That's brilliant. You should do it, because I actually have even reviews on it from after I did the talk, so that's pretty cool. So I'm going to be doing that too as well. But does anybody have any questions? So let's walk through the walking room of anything that's going on. Anybody have anything going on in the Amazon world? Yes.
Has anybody been able to get through to Seller Central? It's like they've cut all of their ways to get through to them.
Has anyone
Chat, email, everything. It's just like,
Well, I think that what they are doing today, we saw there was the put in
They put a new drop-down box for languages on the different languages on the Seller Central site, so you can see it in Chinese, Russian.
yeah, but they're all just,
So they're probably
statements
busy
to
with that.
answer questions, but then there's no, if those questions aren't what you have, to ask them something else, those are gone. Those answers are gone.
They're probably working.
Support case that
They're probably
Links are
working.
gone for that too.
We were fine on Amazon today, pretty much the whole day until this happened, trying to get it, and it was getting hard, but I mean.
Part of it was in a different language without clicking the box. So you're probably experiencing some problems and you don't want to answer the
Yeah.
phone.
They're crazy, so they cut themselves off.
Interesting. I don't know. I haven't heard much. I mean, we've been talking to people that are a lot of Amazon sellers, and no one actually said that they have problems getting in touch with them. Right? How long have you had this problem?
Oh, I've submitted support cases within the last 2 weeks. And
You're getting back to them?
yeah, sure.
Hmm.
I think you should take it personally.
Well, I do, but that doesn't help.
I don't really have much content to go over today, and nothing's really been changing much with our side of what's been going on. Does anyone have any questions about anything else?
Have you guys have any more problems with the launching of the new products and with the reviews and all that stuff?
You know what? That is one thing definitely I've been seeing. New product launches, people are having definitely a lot harder time without the tricks allowed anymore, especially with the review stuff. And then people that were even mid-launch, like on their way ramping up, basically got a lot of things. So we've heard, if I add up how many reviews have been dropped amongst people that I've heard around, there must be close to like a couple thousand reviews, like tens of thousands of reviews that just been removed by people all over the place that they're saying. Now, one guy that I did talk to said that he definitely noticed most of his reviews that had the disclaimer, I got this product at a discounted rate in return for an honest review. All of those that actually had that disclaimer got wiped off his whole review section from that. So
that is considered an incentive.
yeah,
That's what
so
they don't want.
yeah, so in the past, yeah, exactly. In the past, when they said you could do that as long as people put the disclaimer, now that they have this absolutely no incentivizing for reviews, boom, it just wiped out everybody that had that, or all of those. And the thing is, it's so easy to track down. If you think about just putting a script that says look for an exchange, like a word in exchange, or some of the verbiage that everybody's been using.
There's a whole website called FakeSpot.
Oh, I remember you saying that.
What you do is you take the Amazon URL up to the ASIN,
Mm-hmm.
you go and drop that in, and it gives it a rating, A, B, C, D, or F. And that rating is based on how many fake, that has those
disclaimers.
Yeah.
That's so brilliant. So yeah, Amazon obviously is going to, with their programmers, they'll be able to pick that up pretty quickly.
Oh.
So because the problem is that even if you heard that the product is good, but if you want to buy the product, like for example the supplements, if you want to buy something and it happens that it has 5,000 reviews, but the fake spot says that
it's an F.
It's an F because it fails. Most of the reviews are paid for.
Yeah.
So how are you going to trust that product to buy it?
Yeah. The thing is, how many people know about FakeSpot? It's not.
Well,
most of the.
This many?
Yeah, I guess so. That's true. Oh, that's interesting. Yeah, so we get asked a lot. How can they get reviews now? I actually am at a loss. I said basically you got to go back to pretty much old school, friends and family, and ask them to buy.
Even that's against TOS.
It is. But really, I mean, otherwise you're pretty much dead in the water. I mean, how are people actually ramping up their sales today outside of anywhere? I mean, you don't want reviews practically if you do any promotions, because then if that gets tracked down and then you've used the coupon, then what? I mean, it's kind of rough. Yep.
I have an idea. It's not for us, but Amazon themselves could do it by offering a random sample of people who are shipped an item, an incentive like a monetary discount in order to write that review, and then Amazon would be in control of choosing these random samples.
Never give Amazon the control.
No, it would be up to them to implement such a thing.
It's going to be all of their
Products,
products.
but because it's in their interest for there to be reviews of products, because then the products sell. But it's in their interest.
Well, how would they choose?
They choose their products is what they're doing.
Yeah.
Because now
Yes,
they're
they actually do. There's that.
and so they get their own reviews, and so their products sell better than yours.
Yeah, and then there's that whole that review club that they own, right? That you pay in to get in.
Yeah.
But they
Mine-
have
Fine.
the new how to launch the products, and they say that they can do the launching and submit some samples, something like that, then to get.
That's through Vine, but yeah, you gotta be doing a lot of business to get into Vine.
Don't you have to pay too?
Yeah.
Yeah.
And so it's not easy.
Yeah.
And, they're very selective.
Yeah.
So it's kind of stuck against you.
Jason, at amazing.com is putting inserts in the packaging. I think it's against terms of sales as well,
So it
so.
depends on what you
It
put.
depends on how you do it.
Yeah.
If you're the actual manufacturer and you put in a card that says, register here, come to our website to register your product. And, there happens to be the landing page that they go to has a coupon on it or something like that, then that's legal. But if you're just blatantly putting a card in there, it's for 15% off, go to my website for that, that is against terms of service.
We used to do it. It's a long time ago.
It's spot check, right? Is that how they catch people?
Well, what they do is they have secret buyers.
Yeah.
And they check to make sure that they're, getting what they say they're doing, particularly in jewelry. And what they do with jewelry, fine jewelry, they actually send it to a jeweler and have it assayed. Make sure that it's a real diamond or sapphire. And if you claim that it is lab created or, a certain chemical treatment, because you got to say what kind of chemical treatment the stone had. And if you don't know, they'll ding you for you and suspend you.
Oh.
And they have the access to the big labs to do all that. And as a vendor, you take the word of who you're buying it from, that it's what they say they are, and you can at risk.
Wow.
That's why we don't sell fine jewelry anymore.
Hmm.
It's just too tough. I mean, you'd have to virtually have a direct source to God to get it. I mean, to be safe.
Yeah.
I mean, one of our
What a
best
headache.
vendors ended up selling us something that wasn't sterling silver.
Oh.
He got hoodwinked, and we get nailed.
Mhm. Wow.
So
Yeah, that business actually, we see it. It's a tough business. I mean, a lot of competition is really fierce in that too as well. I don't know how new people actually will get a chance to rank their stuff in there.
it's
I
gonna be
do.
a big struggle.
I do see that the bigger people's stores are, the more advantage they got when they launch something. That's for sure. Sponsored ads is not necessarily an answer all the way. I do not see as much organic movement from sponsored ad sales generated. People are getting a lot of sales on certain sponsored ads for keywords that are being hit and sales are being made, but yet organically that listing is not moving up for that same keyword. They're staying with to where it's at. So I don't know how there's any advantage now for sponsored
Yeah, you
ads.
would think that Amazon would reward you for spending money, but they don't.
Yeah. So it's getting tough. I mean, it's a tough business on that. All in all, especially with Amazon actually getting better at what they're doing is
Well, they're getting better at promoting their own stuff.
that too.
And
That's or selling your stuff under their own name.
well, that's their stuff.
Yeah, that drives me crazy. I don't understand. I always wondered how come there was that 99% buy box that you're losing in this, because they would sneak one of your damages in to sell under you. That's what happened. It's terrible. Has anybody been affected by the Penguin 4 update SEO wise? Penguin 4. So there's about 2 months ago.
That's a no.
Yeah. So there's a big update that actually happened. What was it? 2 months? 2 months?
Something like that, a couple months
No,
ago.
it's a month.
Yeah, Google search.
At least a month.
Yeah.
At least a month.
So there's two major type of updates that usually Google has been doing. One is the Panda update, which means it actually looks at your content to see how good it was and how relevant, and making sure it wasn't copied by any duplicate content. And people who had just crap on their website, like gibberish and just keywords stuffed all over the place, they were hit by Panda updates and they got penalized or actually lost some of their ranking. And then the other thing that they do is Google has what's called the Penguin updates. And the Penguin updates actually target links. because a big part of ranking in Google for keywords is your credibility by what sites that have credibility on the outside are linking to you. So to kind of game the system and kind of trick your credibility score or your ranking, people would buy links from higher ranking sites and get it pointed to them, or flood the internet with all these links that they can get, buy links to be put out there, pointed to one website and then put up. Well, what Penguin did, it was actually look at the credibility of the links that were coming in as well at a lot deeper level. And if the sites that it was linking to, like pornography sites, spam sites, and all those other types of sites that were too easily accessible, your links would actually lose their credibility. And in some cases, when the first few Penguin updates came on, you would actually get penalized completely. You'd be almost wiped out. So the thing is, if you had bad links, so there's even what's called negative SEO, where people who were just mean or bad would go buy porn links and point it to your competitors' sites. So they would just disappear or be ranked. And you as an innocent, high-ranking website had no idea this was happening, and then all of a sudden Penguin comes out and checks your link. Google didn't know it wasn't you buying the links, so it would penalize you. So as Penguin got more sophisticated, they allowed you to submit lists of sites that you don't want or that you didn't get links for, and just say, I don't want, because anybody can link to your website. I mean, I could run a site and link to you, and I could be running a shady site. And but I linked to you because I just wanted to, not because I'm being mean. It's because I just said, well, I really like Steve Watanabe and link to his site, and even he might be running a real legitimate hobby site, but I'm running a really a bad
C. Ellis.
yeah, pharmaceutical site had this problem come up, and all of a sudden he would be penalized for it. Well, he could submit to Google, said, I do not want this link being credited to me. I did not do this. So as Penguin got more sophisticated, you could do that. The problem was Penguin would only update every few months or even a year and a half out. So the penalty would be stuck on you until they actually did an update. Well, this new Penguin 4 update is actually now live link monitoring. Right?
Oh, that's
Yes. So as links are coming in, your rank will be moving up and down, where things are going. So that's one of the cool things that happened with that. So all these people who had either penalties or were not ranking as well, or were ranking well, from other links, with these shifts that are happening, there was there's a website, in fact, I'll show you, where you can see the activity of the magnitude of what's going on in the internet ranking world. So it's kind of like the S&P index kind of thing, where the volatility, what they do is they actually have like some of the top ranking websites, and they monitor keywords, big websites. And they monitor certain keywords, and they watch the ranking of these big keywords of all these different ones going up. And the more volatile it gets, the higher it gets. So normally, like you see here, if you watch my shadow, this is about normal. As you can see, the fluctuations, 100 degrees, it's based on a weather scale. So like, if you go a little higher, this is today's weather forecast. It's 80 degrees, that means it's nice and everything's calm. But as you can see, like stuff in days like this, 115 degree weather means there was a big algorithm update, because these big sites are pretty stable. They usually don't move as much, like the index funds and those type of things. There's the movements. It tells the trend of what's going on. But when you have big moves like this, these are big changes that have been happening. Well, we had that for a while. This huge update. In fact, you can still see. This is the remnant of what's been going on since the Penguin update had come in. So we started seeing that. One of my sites that actually had lost a lot of ranking over the years has actually come back. In fact, last month, my AdSense, because of the ranking, because that site predominantly got most of its tracking or traffic from organic. So the site went from $240 2 months ago, and last month my revenue was $324. And because of just purely organic ranking started going. It's not a seasonal thing. In fact, about now, it kind of stabilizes at about 240. It used to do it because the ranking was so good before the Penguin. I got hit hard by Panda on that one. It used to make $700 a month. And then when Panda came out, I did rank. Even though my content is all good content, not enough is why it actually lost a lot of its ranking. But these last updates, I have really strong links coming into my site. One of the Penguin updates took away a lot of foreign forum links. And I had links coming in from big teacher organization forums where they would be discussing stuff. And those links are really powerful. That actually shot me to the #1 spot for many, many years where I stayed. When the Penguin updates came down, those links were actually forums were #1 way people could spam their own links to get, they would just join a forum, put up some junky content on it and link to themselves, and then their sites would start to rank. And Google got onto that. Everybody's using forums to build links because the content was all naturally built. So I lost a lot of it, but I think what's been happening is that they've been going back and giving more credibility to certain things that are already out there. Or, without me knowing, somebody's linking to me that I haven't even looked at it since then. But it's been pretty cool about that's what's going on as far as the SEO world that we've seen lately. There's been a lot of volatility and changes, and even a site that we worked on for a client. We don't normally do SEO work, but this was a friend that actually had asked for some help on a website, so we built, well, Steve built it, got it to the #1 spot, and it's actually still in the #1, 2, or 3 spot, but a secondary site. Is it one? Yeah. So it was in #1 spot, but we got some other, we can see, because we're watching it so closely, we can see what other things have been moving around. We saw some movement that happened with other sites that happened. So,
Chris, is there a way today to know what your Google rank is?
sure, you actually do a natural search or Webmaster Tools will show you that.
Well, I mean, once upon a time, it was a numeric number.
Oh, page rank you're talking about, like the strength of your website? Or are you talking position in Google? Strength of your website or position in Google?
Well, I'm talking about the one that was 1 through 10, which I guess is the strength.
Page rank.
Yeah.
Certainly, I know you can Google your own site and see where you come up.
Yeah.
Okay.
So there's actually one is not Google's anymore. They actually turned that off, or they don't show you anymore.
Exactly. I mean, I think they still use it internally, do they not?
They
have to.
They have to be.
Yeah, exactly. You know, they do. I mean, I don't know whether it's 1 through 10 or 1 through 100, but I know they have some number. It's just I don't think they publish it.
No. There's third parties now that have come out with Moz or Majestic. There are third party companies that come up with their own ranking systems based on backlinks and their own algorithms. Two of the most popular are Moz, which will show you the page authority and domain authority. So domain being just the whatever.com.
How do you spell that?
So it's called the Moz bar. And so you can go. So this is called the Moz bar. You can download it for free, and it's a plugin for your browser. Or no. So you have to put it on Chrome though. I thought it was your Firefox too.
I think you have to create an account also.
I do. I have one, so I can show how it works. What's that? Okay, so you can install it, add it to Chrome. Oh, there. So it's on the top here. And the way to really make it work properly or best is to log in on it. Let's see. Let's go to. Okay, so what you see at the top here now, this is the Moz bar. Okay, and then you see the login. So you can create an account, and it's free. Okay, I can remove the password.
Last pass. Right password.
That'd be hilarious.
1, 2, 3, 4, 5.
All right, so it was one of the two. I'm not gonna say that. Okay, so now any page that you go to on a website, so let's do like the Santa Clarita SCV Internet Marketers. So if you go to SCV Internet Marketers and you look at the top, you can see the mouse bar that will come up where my shadow's at, the page authority and the domain authority. So the first one is actually the kind of the strength of the actual page itself. The domain is basically the domain authority never really changes as you navigate through the site. But of course, newer pages will have less page authority than other pages. So what's cool about this tool here is if you go to Google, it also shows you the domain authority strengths and the page authority of your competition around you. So if we do Santa Clarita Internet Marketing. Okay, so anybody else who's solid searches on the top.
I wonder how that happened.
Okay, so here, the biggest authority is Meetup.com for this group. Because if you look at their domain authority, it's a 92. So it can go up, it's a scale of 100. So like I think Facebook is 99. I don't know who's 100, maybe.
Did it actually put it in the search results?
Yeah. Because of the bar, the toolbar. So as long as it's turned on and you have to be logged in, you can see that. And then so the page authority for the listing that this particular listing showing up is 56, which is really high. Anything above it's into 20s and 30s, you're actually getting into some pretty strong pages. So page authority for this one, web design area marketing, Los Angeles, Santa Clarita. I wonder who it is. Maybe it's some of it is. But the page authority is 46, the domain authority is 35, pretty decent size there. So here, page authority is 85, but domain authority is 85. So really strong domain for Thumbtack. But the page authority is only 1. So it's a balance between the two on where you're going to rank and how well your SEO is actually being done. And then we're number 4. And again, the same thing, page authority is 27, domain authority is 13. But what's cool about this tool is you can also see the backlinks going into other people's sites. So let me click on this here, because it said 34 links. It'll open up the Site Explorer, and it'll start to show you also your link spam score. So basically, the links that are coming in, it'll tell you if they're basically spammy links or not.
And does it tell you if there's no follow on them?
I don't know.
Oh.
Keep in mind, though, that Moz metrics can be manipulated fairly easily.
Oh, that I didn't know.
You know,
How?
so so basically, they take like Web 2.0s, and they'll tier it. So like they'll create a fortress of Web 2.0, basically linking to your website. With Web 2.0s like Weebly, Tumblr, expired Tumblr accounts.
WordPress.com accounts.
Yeah, anything with a high domain authority that's natural that you can basically get a website off of, right? Because Weebly.com is huge, right? So they automatically have huge domain authority. They'll do the same thing, just link to our website, and then the third tier, they'll just hammer it with just crappy links, and then your domain authority will get boosted up. So there's 3 main companies. There's Moz, there is Majestic, and then there is Ahrefs. Ahrefs has the biggest, from what I've gathered, has the most complete, I guess not complete, but it's probably the most relied upon for a lot of SEOs for checking backlinks. Majestic SEO is also a really good indicator for trust flow and citation flow. So it's kind of the same thing as page authority and domain authority.
Majestic is paid, so they
Yes.
do actually have money behind making sure that they do.
Yeah, they do offer like a free, like 2 or 3 searches for free, and you can just type in a website and it'll show you the visuals of like basically the quality of backlinks. And like if you type in like Google, actually, yeah, let's see if you can log on there real quick just to show them.
And what's the third one? You sound like
AHREFS. I know it's weird. AHREFS. Yeah.
REFS. Okay.
Yeah. AHREFS. So
So Majestic has an 82 and 78 according to Moz. So that's the only thing this bar sometimes gets in the way. Let's go ahead and.
I'm going back to the topic of the manipulation of the domain authority. That's usually only for like really competitive niches. If you're just doing like a local business, I don't think you're really going to run into too much of that.
So this is another tool that does have a lot of cool things in it that's built in. Let's see.
CM?
What is?
Nope.
Did I hit them? It seems like they're in a count. Let's see.
There you go.
Okay, so you can put in a URL like let's put in South Korean marketers. The thing is, Google Console, or is that what they call it now? Google Webmaster Tools. I think it's called Console now.
Mhm.
Yeah. So that actually, has a lot of information for you. But as far as the strength of your domain, I like using the Mars bar a lot because you can see all your when you do a search for a certain keyword, everybody around you, what they're at and how they're doing. Here's the trust flow, and I'll get some other information that can help you with that anchor text that's coming in.
Well, how does Moz make money? How can they afford to do this?
Oh, they have software that they use. It's very expensive software for SEO on the other side. So they actually offer the other stuff to build themselves credibility on one end. But yeah, they're actually probably one of the premier, if not the premier, SEO software companies out there.
They also had a pro version.
Majestic? Or
So if you check out Majestic, you scroll up.
So you see trust flow over there, and you see citation flow. If you go in SEO communities, you'll see people say, "Oh, well, you need to balance out trust flow and citation flow to have a really good site that's, not spammy and whatnot." But Chris actually has some pretty decent links on his website, so I don't trust that at all. So what you usually do is you go to backlinks. And the backlinks are always kind of the tried and true indicator of how good a domain is. Meetup.com, that's a good website, right?
Yeah.
Look at it. It says trust flow is 0, which is full honky. That's a good backlink. 9i, that's a good backlink to have. Because it's a local, well, he was a local Chaz, right?
Yeah.
SCV startup, that's relevant, that's a backlink, that's good. So it's more of, you want to take a look at the backlinks and not necessarily just these metrics that these companies have.
Oh, this one says no follow or follow. It's second to the last column. So they're going to show you that.
Okay. It also has a historical index too that'll show you like expired ones, and it'll say if it's available or if it was deleted. But all these are there.
And this is a free account because I thought.
Yeah, you can only run like maybe 5 searches or something for the free account.
So yeah, you
But
can
unless
set
you're
up a
doing like
free
domain scraping or anything like that, by all you'll need.
So I'm curious if anybody's doing some actually offline marketing techniques that are going to either Amazon or physical products. Is anybody doing anything, I guess, more unique than just straight Amazon? Or anybody have any other questions on anything else?
You guys use AdRoll? No?
No, I used to when I was at the animal behavior college. I used to use Adderall.
Yeah, we were using Adderall. Does anybody else use Adderall? Then forget it.
Okay. Actually, we liked them a lot, and then somebody else came out after.
Yeah.
That was cheaper, and
I'll do a commercial against them. Because we were cruising along, and then all of a sudden our ad spend went up, went up about 10 times.
yeah,
And, of course you don't catch it for a couple of months. And then I called them up and asked them, what the hell's going on? Oh, we changed our algorithm.
yep.
And, it didn't help with any of the, it didn't direct more people. They just started showing it to more people, not quality.
I've heard that exact same thing on podcasts, where people who are really big on them, all of a sudden are totally, and actually the company where we use them, somebody came out later, was cheaper and better, and they said Adderall stole all their technology. So they were the actual premier before it. I can't remember who it was.
No, we had 3 different accounts with them. They did it to all 3.
Wow. Yeah.
So I guess they needed to make the bottom line look good.
That's horrible. So anybody who's ever used Adderall, you use it for Facebook?
Not for Facebook. Well, it's in Facebook,
Yeah.
but I mean for
Remarketing?
remarketing.
Yeah.
We used
So-
to do a lot years ago.
Yeah, it goes beyond Facebook.
Yeah. So we were using it primarily for Facebook. That's how we were using the Adderall services for Facebook remarketing.
Mhm. Since we use Shopify, there's an app that you can use for remarketing within,
Oh,
and it's actually pretty good because every time I go on Facebook now, I see my ads
wow.
because I've already been there.
Yeah.
So
Oh, that's awesome. So that is actually one thing I would like, if you're open to one day showing us the Shopify side of marketing, if you're open on that. The other thing is, I am still seeing more and more opportunities with Pinterest for people to learn more about it. In fact, if my wife ever has time, I'm going to actually buy a course and make her go through this Pinterest course so that she can start marketing some of our stuff that's out there. Because I am seeing a lot more Amazon sellers where Pinterest could probably be a very good platform for them, but nobody knows it on that way for Amazon sellers. But if it's utilized right, it can be even used for free advertising without.
well, that's the nice thing about Shopify because you get by that right on without it asking a dime.
That's amazing. I gotta figure that out. Yeah, on that too. But I only have one product and my Shopify's killing me.
Who's the trainer that you wanted to use for the Pinterest training?
I have it bookmarked. And I think it was only like $300.
What is this you're referring to at the moment, Chris?
Pinterest, marketing, Pinterest marketing. Using Pinterest to go actually do your marketing to the Shopify. I don't know her name, but it's gotta be on here. Oh. I'm on the website. It's called The Power of Pinning. I think it's Melanie Duncan. So weird. They don't. Yeah, Melanie Duncan. It's called The Power of Pinning. Oh yeah? Do you know her name?
Becky Shenga, but I don't know how to spell it.
Yeah, so this one is $297.
E-N-G-A or something like that.
But the reason why I came across this particular person, is because the course that I'm going through on copywriting, he raves about the copy written on this page. So apparently, this format is really, really high converting and does really, really well for courses. But as you can tell, what's really smart about it too is it's targeting Pinterest sellers, and it's very visual with all this artistic stuff that Pinterest people are very attracted to. I mean, it's
More pictures of.
exactly, and that's the first thing I've been noticing going through this. But this is interesting here. Average order value from Pinterest is $179. From Facebook, it's $80. This is from the actual ad itself. And then from Twitter, $68. I mean, these statistics that you go through this is very, I mean, her proof and stuff that she puts in here is just crazy. But the reason also that I've seen it, because for those of you who've been around long enough that I've been talking about, is when I lost a lot of my ranking for Google organically, and my wife started using Pinterest, that became the #1 source of traffic to my website. Not paying for ads, she just pinned, I don't want to say crap up, but she just pinned a whole bunch of stuff up, continuously pointing stuff to my website at the end, and telling me to do certain things that put more pictures so she could do more pinning, and it started taking off. Like anything else on the internet, I mean, if you start putting a foundation on and you keep on doing it right and you do it where other people take notice, it just starts to be shared. And the social media power engine behind Pinterest is crazy. Plus, they're buyers. I don't know what it is. There's people buy that who are on Pinterest all over the place. So, I mean, I don't know, is it the demographic, but 80% women? Maybe You know, though, in retail, they say men will spend more than women. But
It's just pictures.
it's a
Pictures. Spend hours on Pinterest. Just looking at pictures, isn't it?
yeah, so if you can do, because you know, I mean, I've listened to podcasts where people do that. They actually will sell lawyer services on Pinterest and do very well at it.
Picture or something?
I guess, or I mean, here's my visualization because it's Pinterest, and I could be totally wrong because I'm listening to a podcast. I don't know, but it's like there's a picture of someone kind of falling, and then so you have this like this accident scene kind of going on there, and you do, I guess, you turn into memes, like you know, just maybe just a statement. You know, slip and falls happen 20 times a day, you know, in certain areas. And then you do a couple of these type of things, and then boom, you then put up you know, like an ad basically says, these attorneys are the best at slip and fall cases, or something along the line. You know, so yeah, but it works, and they're paying like 5 cents a click if they're buying ads, or it's just working. I mean, by just the Pinterest power behind what's going on. So it's really interesting because, you know, I mean, to me, and of course, the big misconception everybody says, it's not just people looking at arts and crafts. It really is more of a sharing social thing now. People use it as a resource to find information, almost like a search engine. Because when you're pinning stuff, it's coming from websites, legitimate. So that there's ways of indexing it. Anything that has actually a search box can be SEO. Totally, I believe that. And if you figure that out even more so, I don't know. That's a whole thing that I want her to master, so she can like matrix brain dump me into it, and put everything that she can really quickly, and then I can go and learn to SEO even better and see what we can do with that. But I'm also thinking that if it's a service that can be offered, it's so powerful because it's so underutilized still at this point. So I don't know. I'm gonna look into that as well. And what was the person's name you said? I'd see if Google can guess that anymore.
Becky Shenga, I think it's SHENGA.
Put in Becky and Pinterest, and then try it.
Yeah, it's really interesting. Okay. No, she's probably the Pinterest person.
That didn't work.
I don't know if the cross-reference with primary or green. She spoke at Las Vegas.
Becky,
Chuck,
content marketing.
Sean, there's one, there
This
was
is Sean
one
Bear.
other Sean.
Is what?
It was when there was
Sure.
Shung in your search.
CHEUNG. That one?
No, it's in this one, right?
Chanda? Son?
Sangha, there we go.
Chanda.
Yeah, that's her.
She has a course.
She does.
Business marketing, Pinterest, social media.
And she sells it about the same price where she was. She was half price of it for $149. I'm using that. Almost.
We know that Illinois runs in the same circles as these people. So, the
Yeah, well,
online,
she's another high rated range.
the online video marketer.com. Is that what it is?
But she does everything.
Looks like it.
Yeah, she has Instagram, Twitter, Pinterest, Facebook, Snapchat, LinkedIn, Tumblr, YouTube, and Google Plus.
Oh. Yeah, so I might have two courses to buy my way. I'm gonna do that. But yeah. Okay, so 15 minutes left. Does anybody have any questions or dying questions that they came to ask or need to have asked? I want to make sure that anybody has questions that we get them answered. Pretty quite really some.
But when you sell products in a website, do you need people to write articles about the product? Like it needs somebody to do that too.
It's very, very helpful. Absolutely. One, if people are writing articles on the outside, if they point or link to your website, that actually helps your ranking. That's one reason to go ahead and have that done. The other thing is just social proof, credibility. The proof of just having your product out there. Because if people search your product or your company name and they see multiple listings or multiple blog posts or people writing press releases about your product, that can be really powerful. I mean, we've seen press releases that are put out there about some product that's the #1 in a certain type of product, and boom, your sales skyrocket, overnight. Like as long as it's a credible site.
So then who you can find affordable prices for people that can do that?
Affordable. I mean, there's services like PR Web. I wouldn't call that affordable. Does anybody actually know? I don't know of any affordable press release sites.
Yes, Refiner or something.
The only affordable ones I've ever seen are like around $50 to $75.
Yeah.
Off the top of my head.
Yeah, that's a good point. You do get what you pay for, so affordable may not be as credible as you need it to be to do the work that you want done. I would say though, the best bet, and this is still kind of an old school building relationships, is find somebody who writes that writes a blog in a category related to your stuff. So say if I'm selling like premium coffee, then what I would do is I would look for gourmet coffee writers, because there's blogs out there about people who just are enthusiasts about coffee. And I would send them some, they're all excited. Oh, that caffeine. they must have a lot of content, right? But I would actually send them maybe some names or something, or just open a relationship with them.
How do you find it? What has to be the keywords to find?
Well, whatever your product is, you do a search and find out anything and everything about your product in itself. Because if you type in your product what it is, like if I type in, like I'm a big fan of Kona coffee. If I type in Kona coffee, then I will find hundreds of pages of good and bad content, but there's going to be people who are just coffee enthusiasts going to write about Kona Coffee. Then I'll reach out to them and say, hey, I have this Kona Coffee blend that is, as an enthusiast, I love it. I'd love for you to try it. Tell me what you think. And because they're a blogger, if they like it, they might end up blogging about it. Don't expect, I think is the best way to do it, but just what you're doing is outreach to get your branding out there and let people know that you exist. And it's in some cases it's called the law of reciprocity. As far as you give something, they kind of feel obligated to give back. So if you give it to
they write an article and a couple of weeks later they can delete it.
Of course, yeah. But the thing is, no, but you'll pay. You send them. You just send them your coffee for free, and then see what they do with it. And then you keep sending your coffee out to all these people out there. That's how a lot of people get their stuff noticed. A manufacturer will manufacture maybe a new state-of-the-art cell phone case. And what they'll do is they'll send them like 50 units out to all the top electronic companies. Just send it, and then see what happens. And it ends up on a writer's desk, and the writer likes it. If they like it, they might write about it. And if they do write about it, you're going to get some major exposure. I don't know if any of you guys saw Ben Cummings interested. Anybody follow Ben Cummings on his Periscope? Periscope? What is it? So he actually did a Periscope this morning on one of his fast track members, one of the people that actually followed his course, went to the #1 spot in the toy category on Amazon yesterday. And because somebody on Fox talked about his Donald Trump talking pen. And within 10 minutes, I think he sold 50,000 units in 10 minutes and ran out of stock. You know what? I'm just so curious now.
Oh, I'm sorry, I don't mean to distract you.
No. But this is a good example of it was out there, and when the timing was right, somebody said it. Just like my wife's videos. My wife's videos. I mean, it was so this. Oh my God.
Yeah.
It's a.
Well, that's really not that big of a deal to come up with a Donald Trump talking pen. You need one to get it to shut up.
That's funny. Once you click it, it doesn't stop. That would be funny.
I wonder if it's like Mr. T and it just insults you.
He actually has a number of products like that.
Yeah. What I think is interesting is how did they not? I mean, Donald Trump is just known to sue everybody.
Yeah.
Well, he's a public figure and a political, and that's fine. They're fair game at that point.
Oh, I think.
Yeah.
Yeah.
There's no licensing.
No. But if you do, a movie star or something like that, that's a different thing because they're like
Arnold went through
they
that
make
too
it.
when he became governor of California.
Well, once he became, you can't sue anybody for your.
It was the governor that somebody came out with a governor thing, and he tried to sue and get it off, and get something of it. And they were like, "Screw you, you're a public figure now."
Oh man, I'm telling you, that's like a whole market you got to think about. Man. Anybody who becomes a public figure. That's brilliant. I mean, if you think about it, 50,000 sales at $15 each. Oh, that's
Can he later request some kind of rights or some profit from that because his image and what he said?
I guess not. They said if you're a public figure, you can't request anything. That's your open game for anybody to tease you or make a product off of you. That's really funny though. Yeah. Fun stuff. Yeah.
What's the Hillary's thing?
He's shopping now.
Yeah, I know. It's
the toilet paper.
what I want to know is why is Hillary's cheaper than Donald's?
Well, that's a toilet paper dispenser.
Yeah, but if you look, there's two of them. Right above it is Donald Trump toilet conquer. And why is Hillary cheaper than Donald?
Because Donald probably sells more.
Oh, that's a good point.
Because we pay women less.
Well, that's pretty much all the content I have for tonight. Where I mean, if anybody has any questions, yeah. But please, if you guys want, or if you don't want, next month's speaker about Marissa, and you guys have any opinion on it, please let me know. I won't announce, somebody did or did not want her to come. But some people might not.
No, I think that she was great. Yeah.
But I'd really like to actually really pick her brain about her funnel. And I think she's open to it because you sit through it for 3 days, and it's pretty amazing that she can, generate $15,000 course sales or $10,000 course sales, and people are really excited about the psychology that is used in that. And it's not a secret, there is that whole being a member feeling, and if you signed up, private meeting after for that group, the whole emotion of being left out is being played in on, and it's pretty fascinating how far. It's actually a funnel in the extreme of marketing. So last year we had, or earlier this year, there's a big, pretty well-known internet marketer named Marissa Merbitroy. And she reached out to me, and she asked if she could speak. And I was actually flattered that she actually knew of me, because I've watched some big webinars. She has some of the biggest names on summits that she puts together. Big summits. Jason Fladman and a whole bunch of others. And it fascinated me that she was able to get these people on her digital summits. So when she asked if she could speak, I thought, well, that's a great opportunity to have someone come in. And then so she did. And her thing is about getting your voice, or getting who you are, putting it on the internet and making an income off it, making a living. And she's helped people do that, find their voice and find their interest and do that. So here she did a short hour presentation on it. As much as she could cram in, she did that. And then she invited you to a 3-day boot camp. And then you go to this 3 days, $99. Now, for those of you who don't know, people flew in from all over the world. Actually, they were from Asia, from Australia, they're all over the place. They flew in, and some of them paid about $300. We got the local discount because we're in LA. So for us, it was $99. We could go, and for 3 days, you sit there, and she then give you her extensive course where you could actually, if you were ambitious enough, take what she taught, and you could actually start something. But toward the end, she actually then asked if you wanted personal coaching to really get into it, where she helped you along the way. It was $10,000, for a year worth of coaching. And there was a lot of people who signed up. It was pretty interesting. But, yeah, so I will be considering asking her on that. If not, then please keep in mind, if we may not come or be allowed in the room next month. So those of you who came a little late, Barnes & Nobles might have an event in this room next month. So please keep an eye out on your emails, because I will be, as soon as I find out yes or no, I'll be putting it out. And she said we might not know till 2 weeks out whether or not we're going to have the room or not. So if we do get the room, as soon as I know, I'm going to ask Marissa if she'll be here, if that's what we're going to go into, and you will see probably about 2 or 3 emails, me talking about her, promoting her up to when she comes on that one. Now, also for those of you who are new, this is considered a no-pitch group. That means we don't sell anything, we don't promote really anything that's going on as far as product goes. Every once in a while, there might be something that I will then promote, but I'll tell everybody this is something that's a promotional offer that we're actually doing. And if any revenue comes in, it goes to the group for the prize that we have for the contest that came out, or for stuff like the projector that was purchased by the group and revenue that came in on tools. If you go to scvinternetmarketers.com, that's the website for that. That's where it's broadcast live. We have resources, and those links are affiliate links, and those income that comes in does support the group. $144 I think is what I have to pay for Meetup.com to be in existence on that, so that covers those expenses. But if Marissa comes, I will allow her to promote her course as a way of sending gratitude for her. But she's very subtle about the way she does it. She's all about giving content because that's what master internet marketers do. They give you the best content out there, and then at the end they soft sell you their thing because their stuff is so good. Usually, it's convinced you enough that it's worth paying, some extra fee to go in and see them. I will allow her to go and promote. She will give most likely an affiliate link, which means the money that comes in will be 50% of what comes to the group itself. Okay, and anything that comes. So yes, if she does come, there will be a pitch at the end. I'm gonna just let everybody know, open disclosure. But what she will teach you will be well worth sitting through her 5-minute pitch. It's not like going to a timeshare presentation where all they're doing is pitching the whole time and give you the stuff free at the end. If you actually, they'll begrudgingly giving you the free stuff at the end. But no, you'll get good content, I guarantee out of it, especially because of the format I'm going to use. I am going to ask her very much so. If she's open to willing to come in, I'm going to tell her, I want to know about the fund. That is why I want her to come, because I want to know everything and anything that she's done. And
Personal questions.
what notes are up? What is that?
You're getting out of that $15,000 fee.
Yeah. But yeah, it's a. But you know what? I mean, like I said, that type of marketing fascinates me to no end. Also, because perhaps one day, long down the road, when I get good enough to actually warrant a $10,000 consulting fee, I want to use the fund. Exactly. Really. I mean, I'm going to be completely honest. I learned this stuff. Perhaps one day I can learn it or use it. I'll do it myself. We've been talking about it that we want to do a live boot camp. Not for internet marketing per se, but for Amazon sellers for PPC specifically. $300, and for 2 nights, we'll go everything and anything. We'll open up my Amazon account and show you live everything there is that we do for PPC at our business. Because we get calls and we turn around, probably maybe even, I told somebody today, we probably turn away 60% of people who ask for services, for Amazon pay-per-click services, because they don't qualify. As far as, by the end of the month, we know we are not going to be able to make them any money. Their volume is too low. Our fees are warranted for those who want services that are professional level that can cover the cost, because the volume that they already have generated, they need somebody to take that they can trust, that they don't have to worry about their account going to overspending just because they close their eyes in a heartbeat. We know what we're doing. That's the kind of people that we service. So every time we get a call that comes in, we tell them, unfortunately, we're not first service. You'd be surprised how many people that whole takeaway sale thing, if you take away the sale, how much they want even more than they actually want our services. And we are completely honest with them. We can't promise anything. We probably don't think we're going to make you serve. And they actually want us more. So instead, to ease them, it's also because they've actually scheduled time. I give them a free consult for pretty much the whole hour.
And a half.
Sometimes I have. But we'll go over their whole listing, and I tell them why we cannot service them. It's because all of these things are not in place that make your ads work. And if this is not in place, you hire us, you're wasting $900 for the first month of setup and startup and everything else. And then so I give them an hour of what they need to do so they can take it away and hopefully build up. And I said, hopefully now when you build up your business based on what we said, then you'll come for us for services, and that'll work from there. And you'll be surprised. So what we've been finding out though is if we made a course, or I mean, people have been, they still don't know what they're, and we feel really bad because they don't know what they're doing. And I don't have time to teach them the whole Amazon system in an hour. Plus they're not paying for that. I mean, it's a big call. So if we put together a course, that's what we do. But I'd like to know if we can go through a boot camp. I'll put somebody through a funnel and really bump up, add it on sales and everything else that we go. Put the course first, and then for those who can actually really bump up the business, maybe then they'll use us for services after. I mean, who knows? We'll teach them everything, but at ours is only going to be like, I'm talking a $200 course or a $300 boot camp, for 2 days of just doing everything on there. But our specialty is AdWords. So we can go from there and we can actually teach AdWords for Amazon sellers. That makes sense, because I've been teaching it online for free for fast track things that I'm doing for Ben Cummings on his webinar. The only problem is he gives me 15 minutes. So what I do is I do small little bite sizes, so they have to come back month after month to finish it off. So I just finished the whole segment 4 months worth. 10-minute segments of how to get AdWords up to test it to see if it works. But I do know that if we put together a really big course and can prove that this will work, we can put people through a bigger funnel. And for consultations plus the course, we could probably sell it for $500 to $1,000 because the ROI will be there. You teach them once, they lay the foundation, we help them set it up, and then right there, their AdWords will now be making them an ROI that they never would have had before. And you don't need to keep on paying us because it's set up right. Because we can see things, not basically set and forget. You never want to do it pay per click, but it's very little maintenance. Once you set it up right, using only exact match words. And only words that you test, and you build it up until that those 10 words work really, really well, and they'll just keep generating you the sales and the revenue that needs to come in. And there's even a safety factor to AdWords in case you get hijacked. And we can teach those type of things that go into that. So we're looking, and that's why even these mega funnels, if I take that concept and put it into a smaller funnel to get things going, we could probably do that kind of stuff. I'm sorry?
Like ClickFunnels?
Kind of like ClickFunnels, yeah. I hear ClickFunnels a lot. I've never actually gone through a ClickFunnels funnel. But the thing is, well, from what Steven's been showing me, I've already been put through those and not even realized that I'm not through a ClickFunnels funnel because I'm being marketed. It's really, I'm thinking, right now there's some really killer books that are being put out there. I'm so sorry, but I was going to bring this book. There is an advertising book that just came out by some really master copywriters. And what they did is they took the legends of copywriting. I think half of them are already dead. But they took their best stuff and their concepts and their lessons, and they put it into one book. And you buy this book, I think it was $14 or $12, okay, and it has a lot of content. And then you send them the receipt, and then you get these PDFs of swipe files that are worth probably $2,000 to $3,000 if you're trying to collect these, on yourself. And I printed it. It was like 170 pages, 2 different swipe things. And I printed it and put it in a binder. And I used a color printer too to get, so that I had to, because they are so good. And basically copywriting, if you really master it, it's all through learning from what people have done in the past, looking at their formats, the psychology. If you look at it from what are they trying to do with it to get people to buy, it's really amazing. So these funnels that I've been put through, because now I've been marketing their boot camps for $2,000 to $3,000 constantly, on things that are out there. And it's pretty crazy. It's pretty amazing on the funnels that I get sucked down into. That there are a lot of them are funnel types, and then but now that is the way internet marketing is being done. It's all through funnels.
Yeah. If you don't remember the name of the copywriting book, can you put it on the website?
I gotta have it because I had to send the receipt in, and then for them to then send me the. Did I Skype you the information?
I don't remember.
I
don't think so. No, we can find it. I'll make sure I get it up there.
Okay, thank you.
Yeah.
I think it's called the Advertising Solution. Let's talk about Brian Kurtz. Yep, this is the book. So Craig Simpson and Brian Kurtz, Kurtz. But there's a way to buy this, send a receipt, and they'll send you the PDF files of swipe files. So unfortunately, I think you're gonna have to listen to the podcast because that's where they talk. So these guys, one of the things about copywriting, you always say, is the bonuses that really make things work.
What's the podcast?
The podcast is, I believe it was Ray Edwards, the Ray Edwards show. But he did an interview with this guy. Oh, it's rayedwards.com. And they're all about, of course, part of the copyright mastery is to really make things work. Is actually the bonuses are really big and influence people to buy. So he was talking about the bonuses, and he gave this book away to a few people for reviews and credibility and all that stuff. And somebody actually said, "Oh, I wish you would have put more samples of these people's writings in it." And the author felt like he totally failed in giving extra value. So he went and he took all of like monstrous swipe files, created this thing, and then he said, "Send me your receipt, and I'll send you the swipe files," to add his benefit and his bonuses to do it. And honestly, I probably would have bought the book anyway, but when he said that he was going to do that, Brian Kurtz, here we go. The one with Brian Kurtz and the $100 million swipe file.
Chris, if you want good swipe files, subscribe to the National Enquirer.
Really?
Absolutely. They have made millions off their headlines. You want good headlines, go to the National Enquirer. Because people walk by that thing and they look and there's a headline. They pick it up. And I have tons and tons of National Enquirers, and it's amazing what you can pick out of there for headlines, for just the way they do things.
That one and the boardroom.
How about the board?
The boardroom, they used to make a magazine, and where most of the top copywriters have come out of the boardroom, because it's all about grabbing the attention, and they've made millions. Like Jim Rutz is on. I don't know if they're around, but yeah, they made millions. I'm not there. But that book, this advertising solution, is fantastic. But somehow you can buy it, and then there's an email that you send the receipt to, and they will then send you the swipe file on that as well. But the book in itself is really good. I mean, it has, like I said, all the best lessons from the top 6 copywriters. Yeah, Robert Collier, Claude Hopkins, John Caples, David Ogilvy, Gary Halbert, and Eugene Schwartz. So the lessons from these legends. That's what it's just really. I just like in the first couple chapters of the book, and it's really, really good. So I highly recommend it. I was trying to look for it here before coming. I was a couple minutes late because I was looking on the shelves. They don't have an advertising copywriting shelf that I could find really quickly. So, yeah, that's pretty much my exciting life. Is getting into these copywriting things. It's pretty fun. Right. Thank you guys very much. I really appreciate you coming out. And like I said, watch out for the email. If not, for sure, January, first Tuesday, we will be here. Does anybody know what day of the month that is? January what? January, the first Tuesday is January 3rd. So if not next month, which is December, wait, are we in November? Yeah. So next month is the 6th, but if we're not available for that, then for sure January 3rd. If I don't see everybody, happy New Year. So, thank you guys very much.
Thank you. Thank you.
Thank you.
You should pay a Shopify app. I thought you said for remarketing.
Yeah.
And what is that?
I don't know. I put it on and
Probably my site.
Thank you.
I was trying to send you.
Just go to the App Store.
So what are you doing?
I'm just getting started.
remarketing.
So,
Somebody comes to your
growing
website.
business.